All right, so basically, I just came out here today so that I can run a few drills and make sure that my dot is still sighted in because I went home to clean my AK and had to take off the Midwest Industries um, side mount rail so that I could clean it. And has like a lever here you can press and it'll detach and it'll take the whole red dot off. And so after I cleaned it and took off the um, dust cover, I put everything back on and I want to make sure it's still zero. So basically just another excuse to come out to the range. But you know, I seen a video where a guy did the same thing. He took his off and he put everything back on and his basically held to zero. But you know, it's different when you're running a red dot in an actual scope or what they call it, an LPVO, something that's designed a little bit more for precision. And so I just didn't want to, take the guy's word for it just by watching the video and okay, it's sighted in, it's good to go. I'm kind of a perfectionist when it comes to this, so I just want to make sure. All right, well, we'll go ahead and get started. All right. I also want to come out here and test out these new mag pouches that I got. Can't think of the name of them right now, but I basically ordered them off of Amazon, and there's some stuff that I'll cheap out on, and there's some stuff that I won't cheap out on. I think the whole entire belt is a Condor belt, but the mag pouches I have purchased before for a different setup, and this is like my first time basically running the pistol pouches on the front of the rifle side just to kind of take up some room. So I'm gonna run a few drills today and just see how everything work. I'm not gonna do a lot of running and gunning, but I'll just do mostly stagnant shooting today using the Walther. And that's it, just keeping it simple today. It's been a while since I came out here. I was actually gonna go out to the 50-yard bay, but that's occupied right now. They got a lot of people out here today doing competition shooting, and so I'm gonna just kind of work with what I got. I'll probably be at about 25 yards. I'll still kind of be able to tell, if my dot is still sighted in where it's supposed to be. And then I'll go verify later on out on the rifle side. It goes out to about 200 and 300 yards. So let me go ahead and get my practice ammo loaded, and yeah, we'll get started here in a second. All right, so got everything set up. We're at about 25 yards. Like I said, I have my AK sighted in at 50 yards, but I'm not going to change the sight in. I'm just going to make the adjustments at 25 yards for what I need to do. That's the firing line right there. So basically, we cannot go beyond this line of where you're supposed to shoot at. I'll actually be shooting from the table, so I'll be a little bit in front of it. And anything beyond this, you're pretty much breaking the policy. And that's basically because of the berm, how they got the berm set up on the sides. They want to make sure all of the rounds and everything is basically being protected for the bullets are actually going into the berm in the back. And just in case anybody have any accidental, damn, I can't talk, any accidental discharges or whatever, they'll go straight into the side. So basically, that's kind of like you don't really have that much space right here. It'd be 5 yards of space. But so we'll sit at the bench and I'm gonna see what I'm shooting at. I need to go down there and actually mark the center of that target so that I can kind of get a point of aim for where I need to be shooting and stay on that area. And um, if I don't need to make any adjustments, and then I'll just go straight into doing my drills. Also, if you do not have a rangefinder, this is a pretty inexpensive, well, I'll say inexpensive, Bushnell scope, or not a scope, but a rangefinder. I think this probably cost me about at the time when I purchased it, it was about 160, 170. Comes with a bag. I usually keep a extra battery in there. And but yeah, if you can't afford at the time a rangefinder, you can basically just buy some cones. You can go to Walmart or Dick's Sporting Goods and basically walk out the distance. You don't have to take huge, gigantic steps, but just a little bit more than what your average walking steps would be, and put a cone out for each distance. I got it all the way out to 25, and this is the 25-yard area right here. And I'll be shooting on this bench, and we'll see where we stand. Make sure I shoot my bag. Ooh. How can I do this? I might have to switch this thing out. Yeah, that might work. Let me see. Yeah, that might work. All right. All right, let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. All right, now the first shot I did was a little low. I was a little shaky on it. Wasn't too confident about that one, but this one, it hit exactly where I was aiming. So again, you're talking about a 25-yard difference, but we looking at I'm shooting with a with a dot. and so it's not going to be as accurate as shooting with a precision scope. So I'm gonna take a few more shots, basically the same area, and you know, if it's hitting right in the same spot, then I think I'm good. All right. And the wind has definitely picked up a little bit, but it shouldn't make too much of a difference at this close distance. All right, we'll take several more shots and we'll make sure he's hitting in the same exact spot. Try something here. Let me get my arm braced a little bit better. All right, I can tell from here, most of those shots are basically hitting in that same general area. They're probably all about maybe an inch off. And again, I'm at 25 yards, so I'm not making any adjustments, you know, to re-sight in. It's not a huge difference, but let me try another aim point. Let me go for the head this time. All right, it was almost dead center from where I was aiming at the head. It was right on top of the other hole. All right, let's try this again. Do one more. All right, I could tell by all of those shots, it basically went exactly where I needed it to go. Now, out at distance is really what I need to verify at 100 and 200 yards. So let's see what we got. All right, so basically, like I was saying before, my first shot that I took was here, and I didn't feel too confident with it. I felt a little shaky. The other 4 shots that I did center mass, like I said, when I was back there, I could see that they were probably about an inch away from each other. Each one of these shots is about the same distance away. Went to the head and basically stacked my rounds. This was, I think, the first one. That was the second one, and that was the third shot. So, yeah, that's basically good enough for me. All right, we're not doing nothing real fancy. We basically just want to make sure we get on target with center mass shots, and that's the goal. We're gonna start out with some basic drills where I'm just, sling and I go from a low ready, come up on target, take the safety off, one shot center mass, and come back down and just do some light repetitions. You can do this stuff basically, and you can customize it to however you want to do. You could do, 2 shots, 3 shots. You could do target transitioning and start out going slow. Ain't no point to start out going fast when you can't get on target. So at any point when you speed up the cadence and you notice that your shots are way off, you're doing something wrong. You got to slow it back down and then kind of remember your basic fundamentals and remember all your contact points. You got 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, my cheek is barely on this thing because I gotta, my dot is kind of a little higher because of this adapter here. But just remember your main points of contact and just come up on your target. Make sure that it's shouldered, firm, and you slow that squeeze down. Remember your breathing, be in a good stance, just all the basic stuff. So, all right, let's start out going a little slow. I don't have my actually I do have my buzzer, but I don't feel like putting it on. You just go on your own count. Now y'all know how these iPhones get out here in this beat. There's my video up. But what I was talking about before the video got cut out basically was when you go into those drills where you're just coming up on target, making your shot, coming back up, going down, putting it back on safe, checking your surroundings, looking left, looking right. Basically, when you run out on that magazine and you got other magazines that are full, if you don't shoot that last round, leave that last round in there, and then you can kind of simulate from going to your reloads. So, for instance, I have one mag in. This magazine is actually empty. Okay. But just with the safety on, I could pull this charging handle back, and as you can see, or might not, I'm able to see that there's another round in there, right? So with this drill, I can simulate shooting on that last round, because the AKs are different. So when you shoot that last round, that bolt doesn't stay back to the rear like it does on a traditional AR-15. So if you just so happen to be shooting and then you get to a click, you could do an emergency reload, or you could do an administrative or tactical reload, and then you could just go into working on those drills. So I'm gonna just give a slight little demonstration. Safety first, eyes and ears. All right. So at this point, I'm probably patrolling or something. I done came up to a potential threat. I say potential because it may not be a threat. Now I may unloosen my sling, or I just may come all the way out of it and give me a little bit of room to manipulate my rifle. And not my index finger, but my middle finger, because it's the longest, is gonna come up to where it's right there on that safety. So if I come up on my target and then it becomes a threat, come off, be out of safety, acquire the target through the sight, take one shot, center mass shot. Now I'm gonna move around. I'm not really gonna stay stagnant. Okay, if somebody's shooting at you, or you taking on, fire, or you just taking out a threat and there's multiple people in the area, you're not gonna stay in the same spot. So you're gonna move around, you're gonna search and assess. Now, I know that I either ran low on my mag or I've ran completely dry, especially if I come up and take another shot and I know that it's dry. So at that moment, it'll be probably an emergency reload. But here, I'm gonna just do a tactical reload, search and assess. I'm gonna come back up, Now, when I take this magazine out, I'm pretty much at the base of this magazine. Take my thumb, and I'll take the other magazine out. Insert the new magazine. Put the other one in. Chamber around. Come back on safe. Now, if I have a malfunction, I'll probably come back in my sling or drop it. Come back to the firearm. Take my shot. All right, and I could possibly come back up and do what I need to do with the rifle. So that's basically gonna be your administrative reload. And you make sure I got another one in there. Yep. All right, let me switch these. Switch this mag back out to the empty. Beat myself up a little bit. All right. All right, so let's speed that one up just a tad bit faster. I'm all the way inside of my sling. I'm patrolling. Come out of my sling to a potential threat. Finger on the safety. Now it becomes a threat. Shot, search and assess. I want to get rid of the bag. It costs too much money. Another round. Back down. Okay, everything is clear. I don't want to have an accidental discharge. Back on safe. Now, as you get used to that drill, you can get a little bit faster and faster